Thank you very much, John. Now, I'd like everyone to once again put their hands together for the man of the hour, the Groom, Mr. Edward Courtenay.
I'm actually a bit concerned because I looked at John's speech, it's only 2 slides long, and I think I'm up to 5, so I'll try and keep this really, really quick. How do I follow that? Thanks, John. That was a really awesome speech, and thank you very much for your kind words. Very kind. Hello, everyone. Welcome to sunny Norfolk, the Wales of the East. And to welcome you in the native tongue of my people, aye oi oi. We're married. Yay! Who would have thunk it? And just to check, where's Lee Chapman? How long do you give it, mate? Talking years or months? But I was thinking, standing up here with the mic and all the attention, it would be pretty easy for me to take all the plaudits for all the hard work, all the organisation that has gone into today and not thank anyone. It would be a much easier and shorter speech. Is it the right way to go? I don't really care actually, so thanks a lot. But I guess I need to accept reality. Although I did help, I really have to hand it to my new wife. Faith really has been the driving force in getting us to where we are today, and where we are, I think you'll agree, is something special. Thank you, Faith, for all your hard work and for putting up with my tantrums when I didn't get my own way, even though I knew you were right. To be honest though, where's Jake? That's pretty much Jake's fault. One of the first pieces of advice I got was, just every now and again, doesn't matter what it is, just say no. Just helps make you think you're in control. I just had tantrums, to be honest, but whatever. And I can't forget the team that helped out yesterday. I was a right old grump for most of the day, but the dream team came together and the barn looks stunning. So thank you ever so much for the help yesterday. We're only halfway through page 1. One of my first thank yous has to be to all of you. Amazing to see so many people here, and so thankful to all of you for making the effort to travel to our wedding. Although the conversation would have been electric, if it had have just been Faith and I here, I fear it would have dragged a bit. And it's not every day you can fill a room with all your favourite people in the whole world. So thank you. It's really touched us both that you've made the effort to come. So appreciate it. And just a quick extra thanks to those who have come all from the far corners of the earth. Lovely to see Paul Taylor and Celeste all the way from Australia. Thank you for bringing the weather. Thank you. And Louise, in from Bahrain. If you get the chance, have a chat with Louise, because she's got this weird English-Arabic kind of mixed accent. It's absolutely hilarious, so just take the time out of the day to do that. Love you, Lou. And we've got relatives in from Bonnie, Scotland, and they have weird accents too. And just to all of you who have travelled from Norfolk, appreciate it isn't the closest of places, so really appreciate your efforts. That's fine, that's next. And also Yilam and Emma, in from Hong Kong. So konnichiwa, welcome. It's reasonably safe to say that Emma and Yilam are a big reason for why Faith and I got married. Just to dwell on that story for a moment. It basically boils down to Yilam convincing me that Faith, Emma's housemate at the time, couldn't stop talking about me and that she really wanted to see me at Gemma's birthday party, all the way back in 2006. That was, in fact, all lies. Faith couldn't remember who I was after our brief meeting months before. Anyway, Gemma's birthday rolled around, and that's when the magic started. I plied Faith with it says a few drinks, but it was a lot of alcohol, and I think she's been drunk ever since. And in typical me fashion, our relationship started, as it's always progressed over the year, with an apology. I went in for the kiss, she turned her head thinking I was planning to speak in her ear, so I ended up pecking her on the cheek saying, "I'm sorry." Smooth. Anyway, later that night, after listening to Faith talk at me about having braces and a few other hugely interesting topics, the magic happened. The following week, excited up by the turn up for the books, I asked Yilam whether Faith had mentioned me at all when they'd gone out for dinner a few nights afterwards, and Yilam's reply was, "Nah, she was just talking about the 5 other guys she's seeing at the moment." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Faith I have married today. Anyway, back to thank yous. We need to say a huge thank you to both sets of parents and Faith's grandfather for the financial support they have provided to help make today happen, and for it to be, in my humble opinion, an awesome occasion. Faith's grandfather sadly couldn't make the journey to join us today, so I'd like to ask you just to raise a glass in his honour of Faith's grandfather, Robert. So to Robert.
Robert.
I'd have a drink, thanks. Okay. Good. Back to the generous contributions, and the great news is I actually did the final budget sums this morning, and with the parents' money we've actually made a profit out of today. So that's great news. Round of applause for that as well. Thank you. I'm only joking. We are in fact financially ruined, but please have a great day. Really enjoy yourselves. Yeah, brilliant. And beyond monetary contributions, I'd like to thank Faith's parents, who have been incredibly welcoming and supportive of both me as an individual. I appreciate that's been a bit of a struggle, and us as a couple. And your help in our stories will always be appreciated. Thank you for your roles in making today and all the support in the run-up. You are great people, and I'm really happy to be joining your family. I'd also like to thank Faith's brother and sister too for welcoming me to the family so warmly, even when on the first time I met them I managed to slam a car door in Faith's face. It's a true story. I was on her leg, still hurt her. To my parents, I want to say thank you for being so welcoming to Faith. I think the first time my dad saw Faith, his greeting went along the lines of and she didn't do a runner, so I knew she was a keeper. Also, thanks, Dad, for insuring me on the Aston. I think that's actually a wedding present, isn't it? I think that's how it works. Having the wedding in Norfolk has meant that my dad, mother, and my auntie Louise haven't been able to escape wedding fever. So from driving us around the wilds of Norfolk to collecting jam jars to making weird and wonderful buzzing contraptions, which you'll have to check out outside, and to making jam. And just to flag, a little game my mum wanted to play is that one of the jam jars actually has poison in it. We have no idea whose it is, so good luck. The list goes on, but you have been so supportive of what we wanted to do for today, and for that we are so thankful. And also a special shout for Auntie Lou and Mum, most importantly because you've made an absolutely stunning wedding cake. I really think it's amazing, so thank you. There's a few gifts, but I think because I'm going to run over time we'll do gifts afterwards, but there's gifts. I'm still not off this page. Okay, and on a personal and self-indulgent note, Mum and Dad, thank you for everything. You are awesome people. I couldn't have wished for sweeter, more supportive parents. Both Will and I have awesome lives, and you guys are a huge reason for this. There aren't enough words to express it, and I know you are too modest to admit it, but you are amazing people, so thank you. Okay, to the ushers and our beautiful MC, never before have I seen such a rough and ready group of characters scrub up so well. You arrived in Norfolk looking like roughed up dockyard workers, and today you look like modern city gents. Thanks for all your hard work today. You all look amazing, and we have gifts. Also, thanks too for the eclectic sounds on the guitar. I still can't believe that such an angelic singing voice comes out of your mouth. I mean, look at him. Bridesmaids. Wow, absolutely stunning. Thanks for your tireless support of Faith and for throwing what I hear was an awesome hen do, nearly said stag do, awesome hen do, which are her words or not mine. It's better, it makes sense actually because I didn't go with it, but I think there was a highlight which was especially the bit of the evening when Vicky Kilby ripped a photo from a woman's leg which had been stapled there. I don't actually think that was part of the show, I think that was just Vicky getting a bit too excited. Also, I wanted to know, out of all the hens who attended the hen do, how many of you are wearing the knickers that you made? Hands? No? Alright, there you go. I tried on the ones that Faith made for me and it wasn't a good look. But I know Faith feels very lucky to have such lovely ladies in her life, and thank you for being so lovely to me. Also, an extra special thanks to all those ladies who have supported Faith while she found the perfect dress. Over 70 dresses. I'm not being funny, I tried on 2 suits. Boom. Perfection. True. To the boys at Bratislava, to you I say thanks for the alcohol poisoning and one of the best weekends ever. And as the saying goes, always leave a man behind. Especially if that man is Lewis, who gets to the Bratislavan airport to announce that he's left his passport in the secret hiding place in the hotel room. Classic. Okay, before I go to the final section of the gig, oh yes, this is a gig. In a cheesy way, Faith and I feel very lucky to have found each other. Her probably more than me. But we wanted to... Not really. It's so sad how lucky I've been. But we wanted to try and share some of that luck. So now is the time to open up the envelopes in front of you. Inside is a scratch card and a penny. We'll want the pennies back at the end, so just leave them by the door, please. So the rules, please scratch, but don't reveal what you've got to anyone. We'll do the reveal in a second. And the deal is if you win more than £3,000 and you have to pay for some of the drinks bill. Okay, I'll just give you a couple of seconds just to scratch on through. I'll give you some background music. Yeah, the whole thing. So scratch away. This will either be a really good idea or a really bad idea, but we'll try. Okay. What I want you to do now is once you've scratched it, I'll just hold up your card in the air. Very, very keen then. Okay, cool. So everybody who hasn't won, put your hands down. So if you've got a losing ticket, put your hand up. Oh, we've got some winners. That's a turn up for the books. Okay, cool. If you've won less than £5, put your hands down. Whoa, we've got 1 big money player. 2. Maybe. How much you got, 2? Oh, how much you got? If you've got, oh, it's £5. We've got a fiver. 50,000! £5. Is that it? 2 winning? No, 3. Oh, Lee, what you got, Lee? Oh, biggest winner. Yeah, 3. Yeah, 20 quid. Cool. Anybody else? Nice, yeah. Lee's getting the bar bill. Brilliant. Well, on the whole, not many people won, so hopefully that's not representative of the luck that we've found. But we actually had 3 left over and we scratched them the other day and we won £8, so very proud. Okay, on to the bride. My wife, Faith Marie Courtenay. It is crazy. Over the years, we've become so close that we even finish each other's... finish each other's lives. All right, I'll take that. Somebody asked me the other day if I could change anything about Faith, what would it be? And I looked them straight in the eye, and I immediately said, nothing. There is absolutely nothing I would change. But later, I actually thought about it, really took the time, and I actually came up with a little list, and I'm only joking, it's a blank piece of paper. Unfortunately, I left the real list at home, but we'll go through it later, and I thought it was going okay, but... Sorry, give me 2 more seconds. When I was writing this speech out in the garden, I mentioned that I would say to Faith that she looked amazing. That went down like a lead balloon. Apparently amazing just isn't good enough. So I think the word you suggested was delicious. Shall I go with that? But joking aside, trying on 70 dresses was well worth it. You look amazing, stunning, and delicious. I can't believe that such a beautiful person would go for a chump like me. I'm a very lucky guy, and I know it. So I did make a little list, but the list was about the things I love about Faith. Faith has clearly laid out the way that I can watch whatever I want on TV. All it takes is to put some food in her tummy, give her a glass of wine, and a little bit of a cuddle, and she's asleep in 10 minutes. Although this does watching films together difficult because she just misses all the endings. I love how I'm not allowed to be clean-shaven because it makes me look 12. I love how your last words to me yesterday were, and don't forget to trim your nasal hair and shave your ears. You accept me for me, and that's important. I love how she finds all of my jokes hilarious, loves all the silly voices I do, and was so supportive when I did stand-up comedy. Oh wait. I love how Faith makes me laugh, and sometimes I have to admit she's the funny one in the relationship. I love the fact that Faith is such an open and friendly person. I can put her in any social situation, and she is soon getting on with the people she has only just met. I love how our first date, when I didn't know what to say to such a beautiful girl, and all I did was nervously pick apart coffee stirrers, that you didn't give up on me and you gave me a second date. Where I think the waiter actually called me a girl because my hair was longer at the time. I love that Faith trusts me and I can trust her. A 14-month long distance relationship is not easy, but she never gave up on me, and I thank her from the bottom of my heart for sticking with me. I'm so happy of where we are today, together. I love that you are my reassurance. When the world is upside down, you calm me until it is the right way up. Ultimately, I just love you for everything that you are and will be, and I can't wait to live our lives together. Nearly finished. So now that I've thanked pretty much everyone, it's now time to turn my attention to the numero uno, the big cheese, the big Willie in fact. And there he is, look at his silly little face grinning away. But in all seriousness, I couldn't have asked for a better best man. Will is such a lovely chap and has been so supportive over the years, sharing in my victories and comforting me in the tough times. People used to ask me if I felt bad or jealous that he was so successful and has an exciting job and is so smart and clever and dashingly handsome. And after I've dried my eyes of the tears, I look them right in the eye and say not at all, and I genuinely don't. I'm one of the proudest people around of my brother's accomplishments, and whenever he's on the TV, I always scream his name. Now, before I hand over to Big Willie, I wanted to make a very short introduction to him, so I'm conscious that the best man's speech is typically aimed at the groom, me, and I know that he'll probably try and recount a few funny stories and make me look a little bit silly, so I thought, how about how I can limit the damage? So I'm taking a leaf out of the book of politics and choosing to discredit my opponent. So I ask you, will you believe the stories from a man who, number one, threw his own mother's engagement ring out of the window in a fit of rage onto a gravel driveway where she found it years later broken and glinting up at her, not knowing how it got there until about 15 years later? Do you believe the stories of a man who threatened his own mother with a knife? Technically that's true. He was about 3, but technically it's true. And do you believe the stories of a man who drank too much beer with his best friend and purposefully threw up all over our parents' prized sitting room carpet? What kind of monster does that to his own mother? The man, ladies and gentlemen, is this man. And remember, Will, I'm your best man later in the year, so if you need 5 minutes just to edit your speech you've written, now's the time. No? Okay then. Well, just before I introduce the best man, a job I wrestled from Sully, I would like to propose a toast to my beautiful bride and our lovely friends and family, both here and absent. To all of you and both of us. Sorry, that was a bit long. Okay, thank you. So now, to intro the best man speech you'll ever hear, so no pressure, Will. And I'm going to give you the nod, Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, please start your applause early, because we are in the presence of a champion. He's 3 times Formula 1 Drivers and Constructors Championship winning strategist for Red Bull Racing. He's my best man, and he should be yours. He is William Courtenay!
Are you going to believe my stories? Of course you will.